In the art of plant-powered persuasion, the linchpin of inspiring change is establishing a fundamental truth, that using animals is a choice and not a necessity. And therefore, it is not morally justifiable. This truth is the foundation upon which all other arguments rest. Start by asking the other person if they believe it's necessary for human health to consume animals. If they say no, then great. If they say yes, then you have a little more work to do. Ask them why they think it's necessary for human health to consume animals, and then debunk each point one by one. In order to do this successfully, you should familiarize yourself with all the research on all the most common health topics. You may not get them to agree that a vegan diet is optimal for human health. It totally is. But you can at least get them to acknowledge that a vegan diet provides all the nutrients that we need. And therefore, animal foods aren't necessary for health and it is a choice to consume them. Then ask them if there are any other industries that they believe can only exist by using animals. Some industries they may mention are leather, textiles, fertilizer, or product safety testing. Again, debunk each point one by one. A very basic answer is that technology is able to replace animals in every supply chain. And it is more cost-effective, less harmful to the environment, and of course, kinder to the animals. Now, while exploring the idea that using animals isn't necessary, some people may bring up various justifications such as taste, pleasure, culture, or tradition. Always bring it back to the essential question, is it necessary? Is it necessary to kill someone for taste? No. Is it necessary to exploit someone for culture? No. The answer is always no. Taste, culture, tradition, etc. can always be recreated without using animals. Now that you've laid the groundwork that using animals is a choice and is not necessary, help them understand who their choices are affecting. This helps to break down the walls of speciesism. Highlight the incredible intelligence and sentience of farmed animals. This information always pairs nicely with personal stories. People really connect with stories because they individualize farmed animals. Share any stories that you may have and ask them if they've ever met any farmed animals. The goal is to reach them emotionally. Next, present information about the horrors of animal agriculture to help them understand how their choices affect these intelligent, sentient individuals. Now, it's important to keep this somewhat brief in the initial conversation. Most people just can't handle a comprehensive lecture on every single industry that exploits animals. They'll just disengage. You can always tell them more in subsequent conversations, but it's important that the initial conversation doesn't feel too overwhelming. Instead, focus on one or two species or individuals that they seem to really connect with when you are sharing stories. So for instance, if you or they told a story about a pig and how wonderful and cuddly and smart and loving she was, talk about gestation crates. The more emotionally connected they are to the victim, the more horrified they will be by the industry. Foster an emotional connection. Then pose a question like, given what we've talked about and that using animals isn't necessary and that farmed animals are intelligent, sentient individuals, do you believe that it's morally justified for animal agriculture to exploit these animals? If you've truly gotten them to agree with every checkpoint along the way, there's no way that someone can answer yes to that question. Remember to construct the question so that it places blame on animal agriculture, not the individual. This ensures that people feel safe conceding to your point of view. And now you have a segue into presenting veganism as a solution to their new moral dilemma.